Hi, hello. Um, I'm recording another mini, okay? Because I just wanted to talk about this, but not necessarily make it a full fledged episode for next week. But the New York Giants have really taken me through a loop these last like 10 years. I'm gonna say. Oh man, Giants fans, hope you hear this because we need to hear this. We have a new general manager. They're gonna hire a new head coach soon, right? I'm okay with the Bills' offensive coordinator. I think that's who is interviewing. I'm okay with any offensive coordinator. I really do think we need to change our offense because it was really struggling last year. Our defense, I feel like, would be okay. Our defense has always been pretty okay. It suffers when the offense suffers, and it's clear, and we can see that on film, on the All-22 film. And I think any offensive-minded coach would be an improvement. I hope we clear house. I haven't kept up any of the news except that we have a new GM, and I'm excited for that. But he just had his introductory press conference today. As I'm exporting the Idle Talk episode failure for YouTube. I said on the last mini that I'm gonna do it, and I'm doing it, right? But he just committed to Daniel Jones, and I don't hate that. I don't hate it, but that is that a good thing? That I don't hate your decision, but I'm not necessarily the greatest fan of it. I'm not a fan of that decision. I definitely think we should move on from Daniel Jones. Me saying that now, he's probably going to blow up and be a good quarterback. But I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think that we just need to control all delete the entire team, start fresh. We know that we were going through a rebuild the last few years, and it didn't work. The excuse of like, no, this team wanted to win now, it doesn't work because we didn't win shit. And we haven't won shit, and we aren't shit. We're like the Browns of the era, before they started getting a little bit of success with Baker and so on and so forth. I've always been a fan of trading Saquon. I feel like he's still pretty good, not as good as he was before the injuries, because you're never really the same. You just a different version of who you were, not necessarily meaning it in a bad way, but he could be a different beast, same animal kind of thing. But trading Saquon, get him out. Let's get some capital for him. And we need to land one of these big quarterbacks. Like Russell Wilson has expressed interest in New York because of his wife, and we love that. We love making family-based decisions. Aaron Rodgers is free agent. I don't necessarily think he would be that great of a fit, but it's Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like I feel like this is what I'm thinking. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has played to the level people think he can play at. I feel like he's still a very talented elite quarterback. I think he was just so unhappy with Green Bay that he does not want to give them another title, right? And we say the last dance, as we knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to enter free agency, but I firmly believe this is his last fuck you to the organization on how they treated him the last few years, and he just simply did not want to deliver a title to a place that didn't deserve it. The fans, we love fans. Fans, you deserve it. You deserve another title in Green Bay for sure, whether it be from Aaron Rodgers or not, which we know it's likely that he could sign again in Green Bay, but is he? We don't think so. So landing Aaron Rodgers, I feel like whoever lands him, Aaron Rodgers is just gonna revitalize his career. He's just gonna bam. This is what I had under the tank this whole time, regardless of the scenario, regardless of the situation he lands in. I do think there's interest that if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl this year, they're going to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. And I say that not to disrespect Jimmy Garoppolo, but I feel like if it's not now, then when, if ever. And I think that if they don't, they will move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. They have their future quarterback right behind them, so there's no problems there. Trey Lance, I believe. Trey Young is in the NBA. Trey Lance is in the NFL. I get confused sometimes, but I think if the 49ers don't win a Super Bowl this year, that's the direction they're gonna head in. Just taking their future quarterback and getting them some reps, especially how they were using him throughout the season. He did get some playing time, not necessarily enough to take the job away from Jimmy Garoppolo, but if again a Super Bowl isn't delivered, then I think they'll move on, and I think we have options for quarterback. I don't want our GM to kind of just be like, no, we got Daniel Jones. Let's not look at Aaron Rodgers. Let's not look at Russell Wilson, who has expressed interest in leaving. Let's not look at Jimmy Garoppolo, who, again, coming from New England, going to California, going to New York. I feel like that's the greatest thing as a quarterback like him. Like, just going from California to New York, it's a night and day change, but it's still somewhere you want to be. You either want to be in California or you want to be in New York. And I feel like for a guy that the internet has dubbed stupid sexy Jimmy G, I feel like he'll fit in perfectly with the city and the atmosphere and just the culture over there. Yeah, those are just my thoughts. I don't want to make it a habit of talking sports, because I could all day, every day. But that's not the audience I want to build currently. I do love sports. It's something I don't watch it on TV anymore. I just it was just since the Colin Kaepernick stuff. I just like, all right, whatever. You don't need my viewership, because frankly, I think the opinions and emotions and expressions that people who have followed that didn't get listened to, and so I just I don't want it to continue to add to something that I just don't feel represented in. The last time I felt represented in the NFL was freaking Mark Sanchez, and I was just so happy for that guy. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Giants, please, and Giants fans, please. If the opportunity presents itself to move on from Daniel Jones, I am 100% down to take that opportunity, and I just hope that that sentiment is shared across the fan base. But there's nothing more to say, so I'll see you guys later. My video is almost done exporting, so peace.